Hey everyone! Welcome to another episode of Renton Reflects. Before I get into reviewing today's movie, a little history. It was conceived by an insurance and fertilizer salesman named Harold P. Warren. He made a bet with a screenwriter that he could make a movie entirely on his own. Saying that the movie he eventually made met with a not so positive reception at its world premiere is putting it mildly. Aside from select screenings across western Texas and New Mexico, it was almost entirely forgotten after that. Fortunately, thanks to its inclusion in a Mystery Science Theater 3000 episode, the public became much more aware of it. Is its reputation for being one of the worst movies ever made justified? Well, before I can give an honest answer to that question, allow me to tell you what happens in the story. It involves a family of three and their dog out on a road trip to find the Valley Lodge. They get lost and eventually end up at a place run by a mysterious man known as the Master, who wears a black cloak with giant red handprints inside it. He's assisted by a satyr-like character named Torgo, who takes care of the place while the Master is away. The family soon comes to find that the place consists that of a polygamous pagan cult, so they have to try and get out of there before it's too late. So, in answer to the question about its reputation for being one of the worst movies ever made, yes, it is justified because it's really awful. It's poorly shot, poorly written, poorly directed, poorly acted, poorly edited, and, on occasion, poorly dubbed. This is partly because the movie cameras that were used did not pick up sound, so all of the audio had to be dubbed in post-production. I especially dislike how the story itself ended. Does all of this mean that it needs to be completely shunned away from societal consciousness, never to be seen by human eyes? I'd say no, because it seems to bring on a sense of ironic amusement, given how it was executed and pieced together. At the same time, it's a fascinating wonder as to what was going through Harold P. Warren's mind when he put this movie together. There are certain ideas featured in it that do turn out to be unintentionally hilarious. For example, there's a minor subplot involving a young couple kissing in a car, which has very little relevance to the plot. I also find it amusing how Torgo has a musical motif, which is just 4 music notes played over and over. Reportedly, Harold himself admitted that even though this is one of the worst movies ever made, he was still proud of it. So, one might say that this movie has a sense of intimacy, regardless of its incompetence. It's probably best to look at this movie as a learning experience, not just on how not to make a movie, but also as an example of what could happen when you have someone with little to no experience in filmmaking attempts to make a professional movie with very minimal resources, resulting in the kind of movie that, in one way, could be seen as entertaining, if not in the ways the creator originally intended. It's one of those movies that you just have to see before you die. It's a fascinating bad movie with a fascinating good story behind it. From a general standpoint, I give this film on a scale between 1 and 10, a 1.5. Even though it is awful, it's worth checking out at least once, just to see what all of the fuss is about. And that concludes my review. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.